at least clinicians are very difficult. They can't grasp it, accurately. So having AI incorporated in that, there is a case over here that is being presented of a solid tumor. And in this solid tumor, irinotecan is the drug of choice. And when they do the multi-omic study, at the end of that, they find that one of the transferase enzyme harbors a genetic variation that can increase the irinotecan toxicity by 8 folds. So they switch it with oxaliplatin, and that leads to bypassing all those problems. Um, this is anyone who knows this. These are, on the bottom right of this. These are heat maps. A heat map that comes from a data that has not been properly researched or put in through AI algorithm. It is messy. If you put it through a certain algorithm, you will get a very clean map in which you will see all the pathways. Then you have got the rare disease diagnosis. Third person who comes in, a child who is 7 years old, she is misdiagnosed as an asthma patient, but in reality, she is suffering from a rare autoimmune disorder. And AI algorithm can help diagnose by suggesting an anti-neutrophil antibody, which can tell us if that is the case. And you should know that a rare disease genome is the third, or rare disease research is the third most important beneficiary of these multi-omic platforms, and now the AI, being added to this pipeline. So as you see these three different examples in the bottom, I'm sure most of the student can make those out. If you can see it, you see that there was an example of IBM Watson AI algorithm or computer that was a supercomputer way back in 2016, before the boom, this current boom of AI. And they diagnosed a misdiagnosed female with leukemia. So that was kind of like, AI entering the game, a success story at that point. And then you have got, there's an Indian guy who is on Reddit, maybe you may have heard of it, and he diagnosed his own rhabdomyolysis by using ChatGPT. And last but not least is this huge project called Solve RD, or Rare Diseases. That is basically an Europe-wide consortium that what they are doing is they are just putting these clinical data and these genomic data together, and they are trying to diagnose the diseases that have yet not been diagnosed. So this is amazing, because data was there, but nobody could, see through this data, through all the clutter, what actually the problem was. So very quickly, I want to talk about two very important modalities, especially for the students who may be interested. And that is, one of them is the functional precision medicine. Functional precision medicine banks on the phenomena that, just like when we do, if anybody is aware of that, when someone does antibiotic sensitivity assay, instead of doing antibiotic sensitivity assay, you take the cancer cells and you culture them in the lab, and do you apply different types of drugs, and at the end of that you'll be able to find which drug is working the best by looking at the phenotype, that is the anti-cancer assays or effect, and also looking at the transcriptome and genome changes. So this is now being implemented. This is a thing of the future, and anybody who is interested, they can look it up. The next one is the GWAS, that is the genome-wide association study, which is the one that gives us the idea. Every once in a while, you guys might come across a news article in which someone says that this ancestry or this type of, some genetic change is associated with this disease or this drug response. And that is something that is coming out of a very huge, endeavor that is called genome-wide association studies. But at the end of this genome-wide association studies which recruits thousands and thousands of patients, and so much data is coming out of that. It is also a problem because this data also has to be digested or processed in a way that it makes sense to the people and to the general public. So this is another very good example of how AI is going to change or is changing the face of genome-wide association studies and genetic association. When we talk about these genetics and how it is going to be incorporated in the clinics, it is always about money and whether we will find that enough money for that or whether it is justifiable. So there are three scenarios that are present in this slide. There are places there where you should use them, you must use these genetic tests because they are the actionable pharmacogenomic tests that are present on the FDA website, more than 150 tests. So you must use them. It doesn't require huge, lot of money for that. But then there are multi-gene panels that cancer, for cancer they are using them. Last but not least, you cannot use it for screening of the diseases. So that is out of the way. I'm very going to quickly talk about three very important cases. Warfarin, we have worked on that, and at the end of that, what we found was that for us in our cohort that we tested for three different genetic variations, we found was that warfarin, the last, the right, the box shows that this CYP4F2 that is not present in other ancestries or other populations or ethnicities, it is important in our population. So we showed that data is going to be published soon. We also were able to, not going to say refute, but find that the pharmacogenetic algorithm that was presented previously is not working in our population. Then we talk about the clopidogrel, and this is another very important cardiovascular drug, and this we found out that there are genetic variations that are associated with subtherapeutic level of the disease and also something called major adverse cardiac event or MACE. So we were able to find in our population that that thing is also like that. And last, this is thalassemia. Thalassemia is a problem of third world countries right now. It started with Mediterranean, but now it is here and it is staying because of our unique genetic pool. And because of that, thalassemia is a huge issue. There is a drug now available. It's an old drug, thalidomide. If somebody knows it is notorious for some other reasons. If somebody is interested, they could look it up. But thalidomide can be used in this scenario, and what we found was in this clinical trial that thalidomide works. And not only it works, we were able to find certain genetic variants that could be associated with the low or poor response to this drug. These are some of our publications that we have published this year with different, in our lab and with the other collaborators. So my take-home message would be that we are right now at the crossroad, and all these different technologies and good intentions are meeting here. So we need to, harvest as much as possible from this. AI is giving us a good picture of these data. And last but not least, I would say that instead of thinking whether or not we should do it, remember, COVID is one of the best example in our lifetime, which shows us that even if you don't have resources to do something, you should at least be prepared for it. You should at least have, things at your disposal that when something hits, you should know what to do, not like, just getting up and doing it at that time. So these are the references. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Siraj, for an excellent and thought-provoking presentation. We will take question and answer at the end of the session. Now I'd like to introduce our fourth speaker, that is Professor Dr. Ijazullah Chima. He's a talented person, and he's a founding dean of School of Pharmacy at University of Management and Technology, UMT Lahore. He is a registered pharmacist with General Pharmacy Council, UK, and also a fellow of the Higher Education Academy, UK. With an academic background spanning over 2 decades, he has contributed exclusively to pharmacy education, curriculum development, and healthcare quality enhancement, both in Pakistan and abroad as well. Among his notable achievement, serving as a chairman of Research Ethic Committee at UMT School of Pharmacy, being member of National Curriculum Committee of HEC Pakistan, and director of M.Pharm program at University of Birmingham, UK, are the particular significance. I request Professor Dr. Ijazullah Chima to enlighten the audience on integration of AI in simulation-based clinical pharmacy education from an educationalist point of view. Thank you.
So we'll take a breather. That's fine. Thank you. So 3, 2, 1. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Thank you very much, the organizers. Indeed, it's really an immense honor for us. Students, nazar aa rahe hain mujhe, please? If you raise your hand. Okay, good. Can I have just one clap, please, from you, students? Good. Okay, thank you very much. By the way, ये clap मेरे लिए नहीं थी. It is for all these galaxy of speakers who have come all the way from abroad, from Pakistan, all over Pakistan, and the token appreciation. And the token appreciation is for these people. I'll take myself back 25 years ago. हमें ऐसी opportunities नहीं मिलती थी. Believe me. So make use of this, please. I'm sure, inshallah, with these 2 days of eventful experience, you will gain a lot. Right. Okay. So बहुत मुश्किल बातें हो रही थी. सिंपल बातें करेंगे. I'll try to finish in 15 minutes. मुझे पता है लंच का जो सेशन करीब आ रहा होता है तो वैसे ही बंदा बुरा लगने लग जाता है जो स्पीकर आता है. So आपकी तालियों ने मुझे बता दिया कि I got the message. What I'm going to talk about is that we have been listening right from the beginning. Professor Dr. Anis Ahmed, Vice Chancellor, he talked about innovation, he talked about AI. Also, we had distinguished speeches in the morning talking about making use of simulation. We also heard about Professor Jamshed, so thank you very much for your insightful talk. So, क्यों ना हम इसको इस्तेमाल करें, right? और students, मैं आपको 2-3 take away messages भी दूंगा, please. ठीक है, because it's all about you. हमने अपनी थोड़ी बहुत innings खेल ली है, of course अभी हम young हैं, लेकिन फिर भी it's all about you. So make use of this, please. So what we are going to do is, and so also say thank you the chairs also for giving us the opportunity. So what we are going to do is that we are going to talk about the changing role of pharmacists. This is not just applicable to Pakistan only, of course worldwide. So we are moving away from the traditional role of dispensing, and for those who have been had the opportunity to work in UK and also practice and being for the PhDs, Western countries बहुत advanced हो चुकी हैं. They have utilized the pharmacist skills and rightly so have upskilled them. हमने सुबह बात की थी pharmacist की. Remember, it's all about making sure that you are right, you are prepared for this. So it's not about giving yourself rights कि मुझे आज prescribing के rights दे दें, मुझे pharmacist को ये बना दे ऊपर ले आए. No, it's first I need to train myself. So this is about how you can train, one way of training yourself. Then we are going to talk about the virtual simulation tools. By the way, here I'm going to disclose very clearly that I have no financial or any sort of conflict of interest with any of the talk. I have to adapt, whatever you want to use the word. So pharmacist की responsibilities क्या हैं? I think आपको मेरे से ज़्यादा पता है. वो सब इसके ऊपर slides के ऊपर सामने आ रही हैं. By the way, I'm mixing Urdu and English. क्योंकि English मेरी इतनी अच्छी नहीं है. So sorry, go back to the slide. जी, so providing counseling to medications to patients, ये हमारा main primary role है, ठीक है? उसके बाद of course we want to make sure that we prescribe safely and dispense safely, of course in the context of Pakistan. फिर similarly we have to give, of course, handle control drugs in a very safe and effective way. Then we also have to offer pharmacy services for most of you who would end up abroad. आजकल तो वैसी ट्रेंड है कि सारे बाहर जा रहे हैं, तो अगर बाहर जा रहे हैं तो तैयारी तो करनी पड़ेगी. तो तैयारी के लिए ये सब कुछ आपको सीखना पड़ेगा, ये आपको सब स्किल्स अपने आप को लेनी पड़ेंगी. फिर ऑफ कोर्स फार्मासिस्ट इम्यूनाइजेशंस में भी रोल है. कोविड-19 में आपने देखा फार्मासिस्ट कोविड वैक्सीन भी एडमिनिस्टर कर रहे थे. सो ऑल दिस फार्मासिस्ट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. बहुत सारी और भी हैं, लेकिन जस्ट आई मेंशन फ्यू. राइट, सो what we're doing at the heart of what we are doing is, of course, to ensure medicine safety. जो सारी आपने सुबह से बातचीत सुनी है और आगे भी इंशाल्लाह 2 दिन सुनते रहेंगे. The crux is of course we want to make sure that the medicines are prescribed and dispensed or administered safely, and of course those with efficacy. ठीक है? So इस सब कुछ चीज़ों को देखते हुए, of course we have to make sure that there are no drug interactions. We have resources for this. इस सारी बातों को करने का मैं थोड़ा सा बिल्डअप कर रहा हूँ, एंड यू विल रिमेंबर कि मैं क्यों ये चीज़ें बता रहा हूँ आपको. सो ये चीज़ें भी ऑलरेडी आप स्लाइड्स पे देख रहे हैं. सो आई स्किप ओवर. सो व्हेन इट कम्स टू ऑल दिस इन बैकग्राउंड, फार्मासिस्ट की हमने बात की, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ की बात की, हमने फार्मासिस्ट के रोल की बात की. वो चेंजिंग रोल हो रहा है फार्मासिस्ट का. और अगर चेंज आजकल के हम करिकुलम, आपने देखा सुबह सरदार शबीर साहब ने बात की, करिकुलम चेंज हो गया है. करिकुलम के अंदर बात आ रही है कि अब जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनको एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग की तरफ लेके आना है. तो एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग के लिए ऑफ कोर्स यू हैव टू प्रोवाइड देम विद प्लेसमेंट्स, और इतनी प्लेसमेंट्स भी करनी है. तो व्हाई नॉट वी मेक यूज ऑफ सर्टेन सिमुलेशंस. अगर हमारे पास सिमुलेशन सॉफ्टवेयर हम यूज कर सकते हैं विच इज फ्रीली अवेलेबल, सो क्यों ना हम उसको यूज कर लें रिस्क फ्री एनवायरनमेंट में. सो देयर आर 2 अवेलेबल. ठीक है, बहुत और भी हो सकते हैं, लेकिन मेरी नॉलेज के मुताबिक 2 हैं. One is a paid version, which is SimFarm. The other one is free version, which is My Dispense. So I'm going to talk about briefly in the next 10 minutes or so. My Dispense के ऊपर बात करूँगा कि how this freely available software can be used to augment and to make sure you develop your clinical competencies and the knowledge and the skills. So My Dispense. So My Dispense के ऊपर आप YouTube के ऊपर जाएं. There are loads and thousands of tutorials. आप उसको देख सकते हैं, because of course we don't have time to go through each and everything of My Dispense, this software. Lekin basically, what it is developed by Monash University. Of course, we have to give credit to the Monash University, which is the top QS ranked pharmacy institute in the whole world as per the QS rankings. उन्होंने एक बहुत अच्छा काम किया, एक सॉफ्टवेयर बनाया और उसको freely available कर दिया. No charges. All you need is the institutional subscription. So myself, I cannot have an individual membership. आप मुझे, मेरा इंस्टीट्यूट है UMT है, हमने UMT के लिए इसको सब्सक्राइब कर लिया फ्री ऑफ चार्ज. सो we have been using it for the last 3 years in our school of pharmacy. हम अपने स्टूडेंट्स को कम्युनिटी फार्मेसी के सब्जेक्ट्स, क्लिनिकल फार्मेसी के सब्जेक्ट्स और फार्मेसी प्रैक्टिस के सब्जेक्ट्स इसके थ्रू पढ़ाते हैं. Myself also I teach. So what it does is basically it kinds of creates or mimics the actual scenarios. जो आपके एक्चुअल सिनेरियोज हैं, पेशेंट इंट्रैक्शन है, आपने चाहे वो मेडिकेशन डिस्पेंस करनी है, चाहे आपने किसी से काउंसलिंग करनी है, ओवर द काउंटर काउंसलिंग करनी है, या आपने इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली हेल्थ रिकॉर्ड्स को देखना है. आजकल आपको पता है पाकिस्तान में भी, थैंक्स अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, दैट वी हैव pharmacists, so we have hospitals like PKLI, like Shaukat Khanam, like other institutes, Khan, like Shifa, and so many others, who have actually integrated the role of pharmacists by making them at the front line, asking them to go in the ward rounds and actually verify the prescriptions. Electronically prescriptions आती हैं, जिसको आप जो health records हैं, या sorry, जो आपकी verification orders हैं, और उसको pharmacist ने ही verify करने के बाद वो dispense होती है या administered होती है. So ये सब कुछ हो रहा है. So ये My Dispense आपको करके दे सकता है. So skip कर रहा हूँ मैं, क्योंकि of course वरना फिर तालियां बजनी कम हो जाएंगी. So basically this is the interface you will end up. Of course आप इसके आप इसके जो हैं वो जब इसको ट्यूटोरियल पे लॉगिन करेंगे, लॉगिन करेंगे, आपका इंस्टीट्यूशन इंशाल्लाह आपको प्रोवाइड करेगा, तो आपके पास लॉगिन करने के बाद ऐसा इंटरफेस आता है, यू कैन सेलेक्ट ऑफ कोर्स योर ट्यूटर्स, योर टीचर्स, योर फैकल्टी मेंबर्स, वो आपके लिए एक्सरसाइज क्रिएट करेंगे, ठीक है, एज पार्ट ऑफ एडमिन। वो आपको एक्सरसाइजेस 3 किस्म के एक्सरसाइज क्रिएट कर सकते हैं। वेल, आई सिंप्लीफाई। One is the dispensing exercises that you are presented with a prescription, a scenario that a patient, male or female, walks in, AI generated images हैं, आप उसको select कर सकते हैं, the patient comes in, scenario है उसके पास, वो prescription लेके आया है और लेके आई हैं, and all you do is start interacting with this patient. Remember, it's about making sure that you first have to deal with the patient in a very structured way. वो जो communication skills है वो भी आपको develop करके दे रहा है, ठीक है? So this is number one sort of exercise, which is dispensing exercise. You have to look at the prescription, make sure it's legally accurate. जो आपका legal, जो आपको community pharmacy में और dispensing में पढ़ाया गया है, वो legally सब सारे aspects हैं. फिर आपको उसको clinically देखना है, और उस सब को देखने के बाद you of course make sure there are no drug interactions. Of course उसके लिए मैंने पहले बात की थी कि आपको ये resources भी, जो stock lease है या जो BNF है, वो सब आपके पास इसी My Dispense के अंदर available होंगे in electronically, so you can make use of this. Of course जब आप इसको actually करेंगे, perform करेंगे, तब it makes sense. आप tutorials देख सकते हैं, उससे आपको चीजें clear हो जाएंगी. But basically this is one type of exercise which is My Dispense. So let's move on. दूसरी exercise है OTC. हमारे पास, हमारे pharmacists के पास बहुत सारे scenarios ऐसे हैं. Sometimes we are the first and the last port of call for the patients. They might come to you and they may not come to anybody, they may not go to anybody else, and we may be the savior of this person. वो आपसे advice लेगा. He or she may ask and present symptoms. He or she may be having heart attack, and if you have the skills, you will diagnose it and then you will refer it accordingly. तो इसमें 2 scenarios आप create कर सकते हैं. One is that they are asking you for, they are giving you their symptoms, and you go do the counseling, you take the history, and then you prescribe or recommend a product, or you say go to the A&E, आप emergency में जाएं and you are having a heart attack or so and so forth. So ये भी आप exercise create कर सकते हैं. I think I've skipped some of the slides in the process. Sorry, इतनी fast नहीं हम चल रहे थे. Anyway, so this OTC exercise you can use those also. तीसरी बात मैंने already कर दी है, which is really good, fascinating. इसका जो version My Dispense का version 8.0 चल रहा है. I happen to be in Prato, Italy, attending Monash University symposium on My Dispense, and it was really good. कि वो electronic health records के ऊपर इतना आगे चले गए हैं कि now they have actually made a repository of probably thousands of images जो कि AI generated हैं, जो patients के मुख्तलिफ images हैं, of course, और उससे आप diagnosis भी आप कर सकते हैं. So with this, but this is basically that you are going to verify the medication order, check whether there are drug interactions. You can also have the access to labs. You can also have the access to their patient notes from the prescriber, and then you can decide accordingly whether I have to verify this electronically or not. And ये भी एक बहुत अच्छा feature है. अब थोड़ी सी बात कर लेते हैं AI की, क्योंकि AI भी है. There is a technology. To be honest, I was not a big fan of AI. I'm still a bit sort of in the middle. लेकिन I started to feel कि AI इतनी बुरी चीज़ भी नहीं है. All it's doing is, it's not replacing your human intelligence. What it's doing is, if you're smart and you give the right prompt, it is basically augmenting your learning. ठीक है? Remember, it's augmenting your learning, it's assisting your or enhancing your learning. So यहाँ पे आप AI tools use कर सकते हैं. You know, मैं तो simple सी बात करता हूँ. आपके पास ChatGPT है, freely available है. So why don't you go for the paid versions? आप ChatGPT है, आप उसको custom GPT भी कह सकते हैं. And I'll tell you how we have done it in UMT, in our School of Pharmacy. So इसमें आप इसी तरह आपके जो मैंने भी बात की My Dispense पे, you can actually use AI to create and write scenarios for you, which you can use for My Dispense. So this is, sorry for the blurred image, लेकिन basically I've taken this from a screenshot from my own UMT School of Pharmacy's custom GPT, which we have created for our clinical pharmacy course. By the way, we are developing sort of AI tutors / custom GPTs for all our pharmacy courses, 92 courses, जो पुराने curriculum और नए curriculum के मुताबिक भी. And we will give this access to the students through their LMS, Learning Management System, और उसके through AI tutor होगा. And what we are doing is, you actually would upload the textbooks, जो भी आपकी relevant textbooks हैं, for example in this case we have uploaded Hodgson, और उसी से ही वो चीज़ें आपको drive करके आपको tailored information देगा when you give the prompts to them. Similarly, this is how it looks like. So मैंने थोड़ी सी screenshots ले ली हैं because I thought के just to make it relevant, you can see here AI tutor is written at the bottom, and when you click on this, of course, that will take you to the custom GPT screen, and then you can give the prompts, and accordingly, आप उससे information drive कर सकते हैं. So it's really good for the students. आप उसको अपनी learning को enhance कर सकते हैं. Right, so ये just एक इसको मैं skip करूँगा. ये वही चीज़ें हैं, map हुई भी हैं, और आपको जो custom GPT है वो आपको ये share कर रहा है. By the way, it's all tested. हमने उसको verify किया है, and it's accurate. So I would not say anything on this forum unless I have tested myself. So ये चीज़ें accurately बता रहा है, लेकिन शर्त ये है that I have to be smart, my team has to be smart, and students have to be smart. That you give the right prompt. Prompting is the key. ठीक है? So ये थोड़ी सी fancy slide है, इसको skip कर देते हैं. वही बात होगी, ये define the role, जो भी आपका role है. जो clinical pharmacists बैठे हुए हैं वो मेरे से ज़्यादा knowledgeable हैं. Perhaps they can agree that what a good prompt would do for you by making or giving you a scenario. अच्छा, lastly, मुझे पता है, sir, just last 2 minutes, मुझे पता है कि हमने AI की बात भी कर ली है. आप में से किसी ने OSCE की बात नाम सुना है? Objective Structure Clinical Examination. Okay, good, that's good. So fortunately, alhamdulillah, that also in our School of Pharmacy we have started to use OSCE as an assessment for our students. हम 3 साल हो गए हम OSCE use करते हैं, बहुत मज़े का experience है. If we have time later on, I can give a workshop on this. लेकिन OSCE basically इसको भी आप AI को use कर सकते हैं in writing your scenarios, in assessing students. So ये एक paper है, इसके ऊपर मैं बात ख़त्म करूँगा अपनी. जो मैंने बात शुरू में की थी ना कि मैं अभी थोड़ा सा मैं या मेरे जैसे लोग हैं पुरानी सोच वाले, सॉरी से, वो अभी AI पे ज़रा थोड़े से रिलक्टेंट हैं. तो हमने एक पेपर लिखा. पेपर लिखने का कभी हम सबको शौक होता है प्रोफेसरों को. तो वो था which is impact of AI, artificial intelligence, on the performance of pharmacy students in OSCE. ठीक है, and formative and summative OSCE. तो पेपर लिखा तो पहले ही मेरे जहन में था, मैंने बताया कि मैं पुरानी सोच का हूँ, तो मैंने कहा AI कुछ नहीं करेगा, और मेरा ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग थी. लेकिन मेरे कोलीग्स की अंडरस्टैंडिंग थी नहीं, आज आपको अपनी सोच बदलनी पड़ेगी. AI जो है ना वो स्टूडेंट्स के मार्क्स और परफॉर्मेंस बहुत बेहतर कर देगा. बाय द वे, इट वाज अ पायलट no AI assisted learning. So we wanted to compare their performance, and actually, sorry to say for those AI fans, वो कोई खास फर्क नहीं था. But again, it's still initial work. We feel that we need to carry on. We need to explore the effectiveness of this AI tool. So last slide, I think probably हमने ये बात कर ली है. It can be integrated in your clinical pharmacy teaching. आप अपने lectures में इसको इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. Custom GPT use कर सकते हैं. My dispense is easily integrated. और so lastly, सुबह एक बात हुई थी तो मैं इसको नोट करके बैठा हुआ था. मैंने कहा मैं वो ज़रूर करूँगा. वो स्टूडेंट्स के लिए मैंने टेक होम मैसेज देना था. बच्चों, रिमेंबर वन थिंग, वेयर देयर इज अ विल देयर इज अ वे. ठीक है, अगर आपको ये कोई कहे कि ये नहीं हम कर सकते, ये इसमें 20 साल लगेंगे, 30 साल लगेंगे, डोंट बाय इनटू दिस. अगर आपकी डिटर्मिनेशन होगी, all you need is the right intention. मेहनत is the key, and make sure that you have the hunger and passion for learning. So with this, I think probably मैं अपनी last में email address भी छोड़ रहा हूँ, and of course the organizers have it. Please feel free to get in touch. Thank you very much.
Doctor, my mom is on. Our fifth speaker is Dr. Umaima Muzammil. She has over 25 years of diverse experience in clinical, industry, and hospital pharmacy. She is a US trained ambulatory care pharmacist. Presently, she holds multiple positions, including in charge of medical affairs and pharmacovigilance at PharmEvo, Deputy Director Al Khidmat Pharmacy, trainer and lead trainer at PSHP, and chairpersons of IRB at Children's Hospital, Karachi. She also has an honor to pioneer Pakistan's first national drug and poison information and pharmacovigilance centers in pharma company, and offers consultation services to healthcare and women empowerment bodies across the country. Please welcome Dr. Umaima Muzammil.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much for a very gracious introduction. First of all, I would like to thank RIFA Institute. Dr. Arif is here. I can't see your mayor right now, but thank you for inviting me over here. So, बहुत मेरा काम आसान कर दिया है Dr. Ejaz ने. So I'll be talking about, the main core of pharmacy practice, which I am passionate about. That is the future of drug safety. That is pharmacovigilance. We have our esteemed guest, जिन्होंने दवाइयाँ बना के दे दी हैं. When it comes to actually into the practice, that is the place where we have to look into the drug safety profile. Okay, so I'll be twisting around the whole time where to actually point my pointer to change the slide. Okay, so pharmacovigilance has a very small history. So I will be talking about what pharmacovigilance is. Hota kya hai pharmacovigilance? So let's make it a little interactive. Mushkil baatein sare mere dear colleagues karke ja chuke hain. So I'll make it very, very simple. So anyone of you would have an idea what pharmacovigilance basically is? Simple words: to prevent adverse drug reaction. It is different. ये आगे वाला है, ये पीछे वाला है. कौन सा पीछे वाला बताया आपने? Okay, all right. सही है. So pharmacovigilance is about a scientific study. It's not about only reporting an EDR, but it's about scientifically evaluating the drug safety when it goes into the general population. हमारे पास जब अद्वियात बनकर आती हैं, so when we have the patent molecule in our hand, it's usually tested on a certain percentage of population. It does not give an idea how that particular product is going, or the drug is going to work on our population specifically. And here, when it comes, the need and importance of pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance globally work under UPSALA WHO, and it ensures post-marketing surveys, post-marketing safety strategies to see how the drug really performs when it's given to a larger set of population. Okay, so there's a small history. So I was going through the slides and I wanted to see what actually triggered when pharmacovigilance actually came into practice. So, and to an astonishment, it went back to almost 75 years old, 1848. More than that, actually, 125 if I'm not wrong. And that started when a suspected death occurred by giving chloroform as an anesthesia agent, 1848. And then we started going back to 1937. Okay. किसकी वजह से? Oh, probably that. So in 1937, it took good a century to actually know what's actually going on with the drugs which is being marketed. US started following, it was adverse event which was reported in 1937. And then when we go back, which everyone talks about, is the dilemma and the catastrophe which we have seen with thalidomide. Luckily, Dr. Saab mentioned thalidomide. I work with one of the children hospitals in Karachi, and I am the IRB chairperson for Children's Hospital in Karachi, and they work for thalassemia. So I am aware of the clinical research they are doing, and my interest is, of course, for the warfarin and clopidogrel. So yes, that's another element. So and then started going back to years and year past, 5 saal, 10 saal, 15 saal, and then things started to pop up, not because they were needed, but because of the catastrophe hits they were being done. Jitni deaths medication errors या medical errors की वजह से होती हैं, which is equivalent to that of more than that of the airplane crashes every year. And why is it not being told on the media? Because एक जहाज जब गिरता है तो उसकी आवाज पूरी दुनिया में आती है, लेकिन अगर 300 patients die of a medication error or an adverse drug reaction is not publicized as much. Okay, so going back from 1961 to there have been many milestones, and I would like to step on in 2012. The first PARC by the AMC committee was made, and from there onwards, our journey of pharmacovigilance Pakistan started. In 2012 was the time when pharmacovigilance establishment or DRAP occurred. They started working in 2015 by making national pharmacovigilance centers, but till date, I was just having a word with Dr. Abed, till date, we do not have pharmacovigilance centers established in our institutes. I don't know, we have local representatives here from different institutes, but if I look at the data, I don't think so that we have pharmacovigilance centers as in the institutes which are working here in Pakistan, not of that level, maybe just a couple. Jinki, maybe it can be their requirement as in the standards which they follow. Like in majority of the hospitals, especially the public sector hospital, does not have a pharmacovigilance system, or they do not have a pharmacovigilance reporting system. So hota kya hai? Kya adverse drug reaction hote nahi hai? Does it happen really? And if they happen, where did they go? So they're not reported. And what is the impact you are going to have when they would not be reported? Continuous ADRs. There was this, let's talk about in the further slides. And please do ring the bell twice if I'm not able to hear it. Okay, so just a few real world impact of pharmacovigilance. As you can see here, just mentioned a few, and there are many if you go and start searching yourself. And as Dr. Ijaz mentioned, give the right prompt to the chat GPT, it start responding you well. Varna, there is a term which is called as AI hallucination, and it's very common. So, a few of the things we are working on making custom GPTs as well. Even you can make a custom GPT by utilizing GPT itself. Do you know that? Just ask it to make a custom GPT, and it's going to make it for you. But you have to be careful about the hallucination part. So, of course, it is, again, I'm going to go back. AI is not a replacement for human intelligence. It's just an augmentation of human intelligence. It's going to be an assistant. Okay, so isotype tragedy, ye Pakistan ki hai. If you all remember, this was in Lahore, our cardiac institute. 100 patients died because of an adverse effect. Was it an adverse effect of a drug? No, it was an adverse event. It was a mixing of a drug which started patients who were given. Then the other one, is propylene glycol contamination. As you can rightly address, it was because the signal was detected from multiple regions and it was informed. Do we? Because we do not report. So a little bit of KI, key AI applications in pharmacovigilance. And a few of the things was referring to that we have tried to incorporate a few of the AI applications in our company as well. My second target is to have it in Al Khidmat as well. So NLP is machine learning, right? So there's one area where, a component of machine learning does, big data is being given and then they start replicating. And this is the place where hallucination actually occurs because of the machine learning. NLP, this is very interesting. When I started reading about this NLP program, it's natural learning processes, a language process. So what it does is that if I write anything on the social media, कि इस दवाई को खाने से मेरे पेट में दर्द होता है. So if you have an NLP system, which is an AI tool, it starts picking up the name of the product and the reported ADR, and it starts collecting the data. This is how the algorithms would start building. This is how the numbers are going to come in. So this is one AI tool that can be utilized. It picks up from the reports, it picks up from the literature, it picks up from the social media. The other one is the generative AI. Generative AI is something which we use. जो हमें सारी अपनी रिपोर्टें बनानी होती हैं. And generative AI can be utilized with RPA, that is robot processing automation. So you can make that on your own as well. I work in pharmacovigilance, so we have to prepare a lot of lengthy documents, which are called as the PSURs and the risk management portfolios for drugs. And I have utilized this AI tool to make those PSUR documents. And trust me, I used to take like 5 days to make it. Now it's has gone down to 1 because I am a little OCD myself, so I have to check every detail which is given there. So I still, again, have a little trust on AI, have more trust on my intelligence. So I still keep on checking that. And then you have the predictive interactions. Okay, I'm going to make you go through a small video. It's not going to last long. It is going to run through you. A drug is made, thanks to all the chemists who are sitting here. एक दवाई बना के दी गई है जो कि बीटा ब्लॉकर metoprolol से मिलती जुलती है. So it's all about the prompt. I'll give you a tip for the day. How do you give prompt to ChatGPT? First, tell who you are. Second, what do you want? Third, limit. Because if you keep the computer start working on its own, then it is going to take up data from every place, and then we call it hallucination. So, उसको बताएं कि आप कौन हैं, उसको ये बताएं कि आप क्या चाहते हैं, और उसको ये बताएं कि इसके बाद आपका काम नहीं है. So you limit them as well. So can we play this video for a bit? Okay. So there's a beta blocker which is relevant. This is probably यहाँ पे सारे डॉक्टर साहब बैठे हैं. मैं आके बताऊंगी आपको कि now it has started giving the major ADR occurring which is relevant to metoprolol. एक दवाई है जो कि metoprolol से chemically मिलती है, और वो क्या उसकी probability है कि वो उसी तरह के ADRs produce करे chemically. So now they have given the summary data, and as you can see. Now I'm going to give another prompt. Now this is a clinical prompt for the clinical pharmacy practice. 70 साल की एक खातून है, उनको ये दी गई है with the eGFR this much. What is the probability that the patient is going to develop an ADR? Which is what is being already documented for metoprolol. Now the new drug, which is chemically similar to metoprolol, is expected to give those ADRs. How quick was that? And I think for now, when we say that we don't have the resources, I think that is the last thing we'll be talking about, because you have that resource which we did not have 25 years ago when we graduated. So I'm that old, yes. So we did not have that. Abhi hamare paas, yes, we are in the confusion whether we should be trusting these systems or not. But yes, with the limitation, I say that these systems are going to take a lead. And when it comes to pharmacovigilance, because in Pakistan, the dilemma is that we talk about the resource which you don't have. We are the resources. For pharmacovigilance, you don't need a sophisticated computer database system. You just need an attitude to start reporting it to the regulatory authorities. And then the signals can be generated. Okay, so just a little, jaise maine baat kari, we can have a generative AI tool which can define narratives for you, write safety reports. Jisko hum CRS reports kehte hain. It's a tedious process when you start writing them. When it comes to generative AI, you can limit them. You can make them open to go for a deep search. Deep search use ki hogi aap sab logon ne, you started using that, and then start taking data from all possible social mediums the data is available from. Then you have the shukriya bahut bahut. Then you have the NLP processing, as we have already talked about. This is very informative. This is going to transform how the data can be picked from multiple resources. Then you have predictive analysis. Taaliyan bhi baja dein ke bas kar dein. Oh, I got the idea. So then you have workflow automation. Of course, regulatory and ethical considerations are to be taken into deliberate considerations. Validity of the data and auditability of the data as well is really required. So thank you so much for being so patient. Hand it over. Inhone mic bhi band kar diya. So thank you so much. Thank you. We'll take the questions in the end if there are any.
Thank you, Madam Dr. Umayma Zamil. So for our students, these are the people to whom you should interact. You daily come to our offices and say, guide us regarding path, etc. So we are, everyone is specialist of its own field. We can't, at least I can't guide you regarding clinical practice, etc. So these are the people. Dr. Ijaz is here, Dr. Umaima is here. So these are people, you can talk to them during breaks and later on, and you can take guidance from their experiences. Okay, there's a shortage of time, so I will just move to announcement regarding the last speaker. The last speaker of our this session is Dr. Rohina Zafar, who is Director of Pharmacy Services at Northwest General Hospital and Research Center, Peshawar. She has more than 2 decades experience regarding academia, hospital, clinical pharmacy services, and she has contributed in establishment of Drug Information Center, QC Lab, TPN's center, and she also looks after the affairs of ISO affairs as well as the clinical trial site coordinator. So I welcome Dr. Rohina Zafar.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can you hear me? आवाज आ रही है पीछे? जी, अस्सलाम वालेकुम and a very good afternoon. Time is very short and Dr. Ijaz Cheema, mashallah, Dr. Sairaj, all of them, Dr. Umaima, बहुत कुछ आपको पढ़ा चुके, समझा चुके. So I will go through this very quick. ठीक है जी? So as for this is a pharma tree. If you can see the pharma tree, there are more than 20 sub-branches and sub-fields in which we can specialize. So my talk today is about the clinical pharmacy and artificial intelligence, a transformative partnership. Partnership की बात जब आती है तो हम clinical pharmacy और artificial AI intelligence की बात करते हैं कि एक precision care जब provide करना है किसी भी patient को, how it is going to be the transformative partnership. So a little bit background of the clinical pharmacy. For the first time, थोड़ा सा refresh कर लेंगे ताकि थोड़ा background आपको clear हो कि कहाँ से clinical pharmacy originate हुई, कहाँ से start हुई. It started in 1953, and the clinical pharmacology term for the first time, the concept was introduced in 1960s with 2 incidents when the 2 incidents were reported. The first incident was reported in 1962, that was the thalidomide tragedy. And the second incident was reported in 1968 regarding the phenytoin toxicity. So from here, the clinical pharmacy started. If we go through the innovation of clinical pharmacy, transitional stage कैसे आता है, तो पहले pharmacist का एक role जो था वो ये था कि dispensing कर ली, floor stock provide कर दिया, inventory control, store management system को hospital level पे look after कर लिया, retail pharmacy, clinical pharmacy and everything. But ट्रांजिशनल स्टेज जब आया यूनिट डोज डिस्पेंसिंग से पेशेंट सेंटर्ड हो गया. सो क्लिनिकल फार्मेसी में फार्मासिस्ट की जो नॉलेज है उसको किस तरह से यूटिलाइज करना है और फार्माकोथेरेपी जो पेशेंट मैनेजमेंट हो रही है, पेशेंट की जो मेडिकेशन मैनेजमेंट है या उसका जो थेरेप्यूटिक आउटकम है उसको किस तरह से आप इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं, कैसे इन्हांस कर सकते हैं और किस तरह से आप उसकी जो मिनिमाइज कर सकते हैं मैक्सिमम जो मेडिकेशन एरर्स वगैरह रिपोर्ट हो रही होती हैं. So the transition state was that's how the innovation started, from the unit dose dispensing to the patient-centered medication management. Then any idea about clinical pharmacy? हमें बड़ा शौक होता है clinical pharmacy और specialty में आने का और how much it's demanding and how much you have to be qualified and how much skills you should have. So any idea? Girls please. Students आपसे, because it's a dream, आजकल तो era ही हमारा clinical pharmacy का है. तो आप क्या समझते हैं clinical pharmacy क्या है? When we talk about the clinical pharmacy, when we talk about the multidisciplinary medical practitioner team, it's a complete team. It's all teamwork. क्योंकि हम partnership की बात कर रहे हैं जो कि precision care के हवाले से है. तो if you can see, patient first come to the any healthcare practitioner, then any consultant refer to any consultant or surgeon. Then there's a nutrition, there's a nursing team, there's a clinical pharmacist, policy makers, all stakeholders are involved. And then the information technology is utilized. So the clinical pharmacist here play a very vital role. Pharmacist क्या करेगा? Pharmacist interventions को lead करेगा. ये interventions जब lead की जाती हैं in order to identify the drug related problems or minimize the जितने भी आपके पास मिनिमाइज हो सकते हैं ड्रग रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम्स और इंप्रूव किया जा सके पेशेंट्स क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ को. अल्टीमेटली व्हाट इट विल डू, इसका नेट रिजल्ट हमारे पास क्या आएगा? नेट रिजल्ट क्या आता है? क्लिनिकल फार्मासिस्ट व्हाई वी नीड. हम बात करते हैं, हमसे मैनेजमेंट पूछती है कि जी आपको क्लिनिकल फार्मासिस्ट क्यों चाहिए हॉस्पिटल्स में. तो इसका एक सिग्निफिकेंट कंट्रीब्यूशन क्या है? व्हाई? नंबर 1 इज दैट हम स्लो डाउन करना चाह रहे हैं किसी भी डिजीज की प्रोग्रेशन को. नंबर 2, हॉस्पिटल स्टे जो है पेशेंट का उसको हम मिनिमाइज करना चाह रहे हैं. इकोनॉमिक बर्डन जो एक पेशेंट पे आया है उसको हमने रिड्यूस करना है. एंड देन फाइनली टू इम्प्रूव द क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ, बिकॉज द हेल्थ, वेलनेस एंड क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Any idea about the goals of pharmacy, clinical pharmacy? Any idea? क्लिनिकल फार्मासिस्ट का क्या हम कहते हैं जी, क्लिनिकल फार्मासिस्ट वार्ड राउंड भी ले ले, ठीक है. हम जाते हैं, आप इंटर्नशिप पे जाते हैं, आपसे कहा जाता है कि जी क्लिनिकल फार्मासिस्ट जो है वार्ड राउंड भी ले, मेडिकेशन हिस्ट्री भी ले, अप्रोप्रिएटनेस रिव्यू भी करे, उसके साथ साथ ड्रग रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम्स DRPs को आइडेंटिफाई करे, अप्रोप्रिएटनेस रिव्यू देखे, ड्रग इंटरेक्शंस की रिपोर्टिंग करे, उसके साथ थेरेप्यूटिक ड्रग मॉनिटरिंग भी करे, मेडिकेशन एरर्स को रिपोर्ट करे, नियर मिस भी रिपोर्ट करे, इसके साथ साथ पेशेंट काउंसलिंग भी करे. लेवल ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस, एनी आइडिया अबाउट लेवल ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस? जब भी कोई फार्मासिस्ट क्लिनिकल फार्मासिस्ट रिकमेंड करता है या इंटरवीन करता है तो उस वक्त एक लेवल ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस होता है जो आपको कंसल्टेंट की तरफ से या हेल्थ केयर प्रैक्टिशनर की तरफ से आता है कि आइदर इट इज एक्सेप्टेड, नॉट एक्सेप्टेड, इम्प्लीमेंटेड, नॉट इम्प्लीमेंटेड एट द पेशेंट केयर लेवल. सो डू यू थिंक एक ही फार्मासिस्ट के लिए जो कि 50 बेड पे काम कर रहा है वो ये चीजें इंप्लीमेंट कर सकता है, इंश्योर करवा सकता है पेशेंट सेफ्टी के हवाले से? So here we need the artificial intelligence, here we need the computer applications, and then it takes to the precision care. So for the first time, AI innovator was Herbert Simon. In 1965, he claimed that in the coming 25 years, machines will do that work that a man can do. 1965, just imagine, this is 2025, and he claimed कि ये करेगा. तो जब हम प्रिसीजन केयर की और ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव पार्टनरशिप की बात करते हैं तो क्लिनिकल फार्मेसी क्या कर रहा है? अल्टीमेटली इट फोकसेस ऑन द पेशेंट आउटकम to optimize the drug therapy. And what the artificial intelligence do? It is doing basically it is the machine based system जो कि आप उनकी collaboration से data analysis करते हैं और जो human decisions वो ले रहा होता है उसको वो support करता है. So this is the precision partnership. Now we have to imagine the future of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence आपसे ये कहता है कि आप ऐसा future imagine करें जिसमें आपके पास health care is not only the faster but also the safer and tailored to meet the unique need of each patient, जो कि काफी डिटेल में जीनोमिक्स के हवाले से बात हुई और डॉक्टर सरहाज साहब ने आपको एक्सप्लेन किया. So here you can see where and कहाँ पे आप artificial intelligence को यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं. सबसे पहले डायग्नोसिस ऑफ डिजीज में आप आ जाएं, डायग्नोस्टिक इमेजेस में, ड्रग डिस्कवरी एंड डेवलपमेंट, रोबोटिक सर्जरीज, predictive analysis for the patient outcomes, virtual health assistance, and then the treatment personalization. So why this partnership is important? This partnership is important, number one, to overcome the workload, because manpower, your manual system say it is not possible. Always the AI tools, yeah, computer-based hospital management systems, they are very, very important to be implemented in any healthcare setup. The complexity of therapeutic regimen, इतनी कोमॉर्बिडिटी वाले केसेस आ गए हैं, पेशेंट कॉम्प्लिकेशंस के साथ आता है कि उनको कॉम्प्लेक्स मेडिकेशंस रेजीम प्रिस्क्राइब की जाती हैं. सो हियर वी नीड द क्लिनिकल फार्मेसी एक्सपर्टीज एंड द एआई एक्सपर्टीज. डे बाय डे द पेशेंट डाटा इज ग्रोइंग. जितना आपके पास जो पेशेंट हेल्थ रिकॉर्ड्स हैं डे बाय डे इट्स ग्रोइंग. उसके साथ साथ ट्रांजिशन आ गया. पेशेंट इतने एजुकेटेड आपके पास हो गए हैं कि दे आर एक्सपेक्टिंग कि आपका जी क्लिनिकल फार्मासिस्ट जो है उनकी काउंसलिंग करेगा, उनको पर्सनलाइज ट्रीटमेंट एडवाइस प्रोवाइड करेगा. And there is a demand and there is a need for personalized and cost-effective therapy as well. Now there are few common assumptions. There are worries and assumptions. जी AI आएगा तो AI आपकी jobs को replace कर देगा. Do you think it will replace? No, it will transform your jobs. Secondly, it's thought that AI is very, very expensive. Yes, it is expensive, but in some cases there are very few tools are now available जो कि small level पे आप business कर सकते हैं. business के साथ साथ individual personalized care के लिए हम इसको utilize कर सकते हैं. AI is never wrong. No, sometimes it can make mistakes because human beings are supposed to oversight and overview this. Similarly, these are the benefits as I have discussed कि diagnostics से लेकर आपके end तक individual personalized treatment तक और इसके साथ साथ it will enhance the efficacy as well. Now, what are the applications of clinical pharmacy in this field? या artificial intelligence हम किस तरह से utilize कर सकते हैं? वही बात to overcome the workload कि कितना workload आप कम कर सकते हैं. इसके अलावा decision support system. Why it is any idea about CSSD? CSSD. As I explained in the previous slides, appropriate test review, medication reconciliation, decision support making system. So ये आपको support करता है, आपको identify करके दिखता है. Like suppose आपको एक demand आती है, chronic kidney disease का patient है और कहा जाता है कि जी उसका ciprofloxacin उसको dispense कर दें. So are you going to dispense the ciprofloxacin? But no, because the patient is suffering from the chronic kidney disease and you are not going to dispense the ciprofloxacin. तो ये आपके पास systems जो होते हैं आपको support करते हैं. This is the almost sequence in which the AI and the clinical pharmacy, it is working as a partner. Now here you can see when the medication is ordered, there's a trigger, there's a patient creatinine level is checked. This is one of the example, and how the current medications are prescribed, which current medications are prescribed, and intervention is recommended, and then action is taken. Either the drug is changed or the dose is changed. Very few applications which are nowadays used in the clinical pharmacy, all enhanced medication reconciliation appropriateness review. Now this technique MedAware is used, and similarly इसमें क्या होता है प्रिसीजन की जब हम बात करते हैं प्रिसाइज केयर की तो इसमें पेशेंट की सारी लैब्स हो गई उसके बायोमार्कर्स हो गए उसकी मेडिकेशंस हो गई उन सबको रिकंसाइल किया जाता है विद द हेल्प ऑफ दीज सिस्टम्स आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस जीनोमिक्स आपको बड़ा डिटेल में डॉक्टर सराज साहब ने एक्सप्लेन किया कि फ्यूचर इज गोइंग टू बी द AI और उसमें जीनोमिक्स किस तरह से हम यूज करेंगे फार्माकोलॉजी एंड जीनोमिक्स और किस तरह से आप प्रिसीजन केयर पेशेंट को प्रोवाइड करेंगे. Now it will be resulting. We always talk about the patient compliance and the patient adherence. So definitely it will improve the patient compliance and patient adherence, along with the reduce the hospital readmissions and faster decision making, cost effective and efficient, and not the last but least, empowering the pharmacist. This is very important and the plus point. We have few challenges now which are very important to be highlighted. हमारे पास challenges हैं. Number one is that कि आपके पास resistance to adopt the वही fear है, वही assumptions है, वो bias है आपके पास कि adopt कैसे किया जाए. Secondly, high implementation cost, and then integration with the already available IT systems. Now, these data privacy is also very important. So these are the few limitations. Now, very quickly, I will go through that. What is the clinical pharmacist? Clinical pharmacist ने क्या करना है? Interpret करना है, validate करना है जो data is available, और उसके साथ साथ उसने integration करने की जो हम partnership की बात कर रहे हैं. So when you are going to integrate the genomics, the artificial intelligence, and clinical pharmacy, so it will result in the precision, safety, and efficacy care of the patient. So here AI is not as a part. It is as a placement. It is a partner. At the end, we have a conclusion. The AI transforms the clinical pharmacy from the reactive to the proactive care. There is a collaboration when we can collaborate in order to improve the precision, the therapeutic efficacy, safety, along with the patient outcomes. So AI won't replace the pharmacists, but the pharmacists who use AI, they will replace those pharmacists who do it. These are the few references. Always remember, take-home message is that everything is very difficult when you try, but everything is easy if you try. So try it, and there should not be any kind of assumption while using the artificial intelligence and for the patient precision care. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rohina Zafar, for your remarkable presentation and highlighting the transformative role of AI in pharmacy. In fact, All the learned speakers have actually highlighted the area, the possible areas of research for all the audience and the prospect researchers. Whenever there's an application of an existing area to another area of knowledge, this gives birth to new areas of knowledge actually. So I would request all the audience to join me in the round of applause for all the speakers. So all the talks for this session have now ended, but the question answer session is remaining. So I would request the audience to be brief while asking the question. So just introduce yourself and your affiliation of your institute and ask the question. We just have 10 to 15 minutes at the maximum. So over to the audience, please.
I would request the organizers to please assist the audience with mics so that they can ask questions if they have any.
Hi, this is Hamza Tanveer, and I'm the last year pharmacy student at Rifa International University. I have a question from Dr. Sami Siraj regarding the pharmacogenetic guided algorithms that you mentioned for the dosing of warfarin. Like,
Yes, please. Yeah.
yes.
Sorry.
I wanted to ask a question regarding the like pharmacogenetic, that model you mentioned for the warfarin testing. Is it same like XG boost model that Ensemble has proposed for the genetic testing and pharmacogenetic studies?
I'm not aware of the model that you are referring to. But in that talk, I mentioned two of the other trials that included a GIFT trial and an EU-PAC trial, which probably has something to do with what you are saying. So maybe they are about the relevance and the financial impact of using pharmacogenetic guided dosing in warfarin prescription.
Relating to that, I would like to ask a few questions if possible. Like what kind of data would it be required to like test, or you might say to train the model? Like if there is a traditional model like regression models, we have seen many models towards the failure. Like if there is a kind of less data to train that model, it generally goes to the failure. How much data is it required to like cover the whole population of Pakistan for that ethnicity? A general guess.
Okay, this is kind of an open-ended question because right now we are doing one of the master's research on the thalidomide study in thalassemia. And what we are doing is that we are using a data of 1,000 patients. We are using an online tool that is totally free to use. It's called Orange. We are just using that regression model. And we are having some issues with that too. So in a way, I'm siding with you. But I would say that, you know, it's not just about data. It's about, you know, how clean your data is. So how, you know, the data is actually taken in the right way and presented in the right way and recorded in the right way. This is actually, I think, a major issue.
And
so we are going for 800 plus 200, 800 to train and 200 to, you know, execute, to test.
Okay,
so we feel like it is going to be enough. We feel it's going to be enough, but I don't have a practical answer for that. So we'll still have to wait and see. We're still halfway there.
What type of variables be used? Like if there is a genetic testing towards the genes, or what kind of variables are being used for that?
Okay, in specifically, very quickly, I want to answer this because specifically in case in this way, we had two outcomes. One was the HB hemoglobin level, and the other one was the transfusion frequency. What we are going for was we want to reduce the transfusion frequency to an extent that the patient becomes totally transfusion independent. So go for that outcome parameter using the regression model in thalassemia, giving this analogy. For warfarin, it is the dose. It is the dose that we have to titrate. So we will go for that.
Okay. And sorry, a are you training the model by yourselves or using the model or pipelines that are being already published?
Okay, so what we can do is we can talk right after this, inshallah,
Okay,
and we can
sure,
have a
sure.
very candid discussion.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for the questions.
So since we are falling short of time, so we'll have to cut short on questions now, and we'll move forward to the souvenir distribution ceremony. I would request Professor Arifullah, Professor Umair Yas, and Professor Aslam to come forward so that they can hand over the shields to the session chairs, speakers, and the workshop facilitators. So first, I would request the session chairs from both the main hall and the parallel room 1, Professor Dr. Mohammad Zubair, Professor Dr. Shahiqul Zaman, Professor Dr. Barkat Ali Khan, if he's here, and Professor Mohammad Tahir Akil. Please come forward. And Professor Nasir Abbas. Professor Barkat Ali Khan, if you're here, please come forward. We'll follow this with our respected speakers. Please come forward from Hall 1, Professor Zahirul Haq Kasmi, Professor Zaman Ashraf, Professor Sami Siraj, Professor Ijazullah Chima, Dr. Umaima Muzammil, Dr. Rohina Zafar, and from the parallel room 1, we have Dr. Askar Ali Shuja as a physical presenter. Please come forward. Professor Umar Khalaq Bhutta from Shaukat Khanam. Thank you.